Finally, we are ready to talk to StoreKit. To get information about a product from StoreKit, we make a request. This is done with the product.products method. You make the request by passing in a collection of product identifiers, and of course, they must match the reference names that you set up in App Store Connect. As you can imagine, this is a network request, meaning it's going to be asynchronous. We don't want to pause the app while the information is being retrieved. When the products come through, we'll publish them through our model. And with a network request, we know that things can and often do go wrong. Airplane mode may be enabled, networks may be down. We have to account for these types of errors. Handling any issues that may arise is easy to handle in code with async await in Swift. Once you make a request, you'll later get back an array of products. A StoreKit product represents an individual purchase. It will contain a bunch of useful information, so let's go retrieve some of them. Open the OWL file. The first thing we're going to do is change it to mostly be a wrapper around a StoreKit product, which is where all the important data will actually be found. Next, in the initializer, we'll make a products request using all of the OWL IDs. Then transform those products into OWLs. Of course, the initializer itself is now an async throwing operation, so we need to mark it as such. And then the same goes for IAP Store. For identification, we can use the product's ID. At this point, we have the model all set up. Now we have to integrate it. Open the app file. It will be nice to pass an IAP store through the app as an environment object, but because its initializer is asynchronous now, we'll need to start off with it being nil. And then when it gets a value, we'll send it along. Until then, we'll show a progress view where we'll launch a task that initializes the store. In an app you'd submit to the store, you'd need to handle errors robustly to provide a good user experience, but we can just ignore them with try ? While learning. In Content View, we'll be using StoreKit as well. In order to use our environment object, we're going to need a variable. But we won't need the sample OWLs anymore. That will create compile errors, which let us know where we need to update our code. First, let's update the list. We'll be grabbing OWLs from the store now. The product row will change to use a product instead of an OWL. As for the name, that's product.displayname. The price, similarly, is display price. The great thing about this property is that it's formatted for the user's locale. We're only setting up our in-app purchases for one locale, but you may be supporting multiple regions, and this will take care of that. Underneath, let's display the product's description. And unfortunately, the async technique that we used in the app file won't work for previews. We could mock an IAP store, but for this course, I'm just going to delete the previews. Instead, we'll be building and running from now on. We're getting a whole bunch of products returned directly from the App Store instead of being hard-coded directly into the app. But some of you may not be seeing anything at all, even though you followed along. If that's the case, see me in the next episode.